Hello everyone, I am Yomana Chandran, your State Technical Officer for Debate, and with me there is another officer who is Miss Fatin Haya Ismail. Today I'll be sharing with you some information about debate competition. Before I get into further details, I would like to start with basic rules of debate competition. So there are 5 main points that I would like to share with you. Okay, first, when you want to form a team, there must be 5 participants and there must be 3 active speakers in each team with 2 reserves. And in that team, it must consist of more than 1 race. Also, when we talk about 2 teams in a competition, one represents the government and the other one represents the opposition. And each debater is given 8 minutes to debate, to argue their points, and reply speech for 4 minutes. As for another aspect of debate, something called point of information can be offered by the opposing team between the 1st and 7th minutes of the speech. Also, finally, about reply speech is by either the 1st or 2nd speaker of each team. And for this reply speech, it is usually the opposition team which goes first. And for your information, if you can see on the slides here, I've given you the numbers according to the concept paper for your reference. Alright, so this is a primary question that usually is asked by all teachers in charge. How to help your speakers? Alright, these are the 3 aspects that I'll be sharing with you. First, it will be about speaker's role. Next, reply speech. And the third one, it will be about points of information. So let's begin with the speaker's role. We'll be looking at what is first speaker supposed to do, followed by second speaker, third speaker, and what someone needs to do when he or she gives his or her reply speech. Alright, so these are the basic things that should be known by all 3 speakers. As for first speaker, whether the speaker is from the government side or the opposition side, first the speaker needs to define the topic that has been given. Number 2, establish the issues related to the topic. Number 3, outline the case. What have you planned to do? Number 4, announce the case division, meaning to say from the first speaker till the third speaker. What have you planned to say? And the last one will be present the case. So for here, teachers, I would like you to take note of the verbs that I have listed out as for the first speaker. Next, as for the second speaker, you will have to, number 1, deal with the definition given by your opponent team. Next, respond to the opposition with rebuttals. Alright, this is the next keyword that I would like to highlight. And followed by, you will have to continue the case as outlined by the first debater in the team. So it must be synchronized from first speaker to the second speaker and then finally the third speaker. You are supposed to rebut and defend. Rebut meaning you have to rebut the opponent. You are not allowed to present any new points here. And you have to defend the position that has been set by the first and second speakers of your team. Alright, next. Okay, so the next part here, I would like to explain to you from the perspective of the adjudicators. So I'll be touching about what are the adjudicators looking into when they give you the marks. As for first speaker, alright, so you must make sure that you're able to answer all of these questions. First, let's look at, did the speaker successfully lay out the scene and paint the picture? Next question, did the speaker convincingly analyze the motion? Next one, was the definition fair given by both sides, the government as well as the opposition? Next, did the speaker set out the team stance clearly? Is it clear about what exactly the team is going to talk about? And then the next one solid argument with proper development. This is by the first speaker. And I've also given you a formula that you can actually share with your students. The formula is called P, teacher. It's not something that is ugly. Alright, P here stands for point, followed by elaboration, supported by examples. So this is the basic thing that you will have to introduce to your speakers so that they can prepare and they can present. And at the end of the speech, it must be a clear idea what the team is about to bring into the debate. So teachers, these are the questions that the adjudicators look for when they are giving marks. So if you are able to prepare your speakers according to these questions, trust me, you're on the right track. So this is only for the first speaker, despite whichever team that they have to take. Next, as for second speaker. All right, so second speaker, I've already highlighted to you the verbs that you have to focus. First, did the speaker defend the first speaker? Next, did the speaker add value to their first speaker's speech? Number 3, did the speaker's speech stay consistent with the team's stance? Next, did the speaker engage properly with the opposing team? Next, did the speaker provide enough for the team? And as for the end of the speech, all the arguments must be properly laid out to be evaluated. Alright teachers, over here you have to always mention this to your speakers that whenever they are assigned as the second speaker, they must not go astray from their first speaker. It must be in sync and it must be organized. So if your second speaker is able to answer all of these questions, then once again, you are on the right track, on the winning path. All right, so second speaker is also somebody who does damage control. What is that? It is about repairing damage done by opponent, by rebutting, and filling in gaps left by first speaker. Let's say, for instance, the first speaker has missed out something important. So, it is the duty of the second speaker to fill the gap and to cover. All right, this is the last one. As for the third speaker, okay, let's look at the questions. Did the speaker address any hanging contention in the debate? Did the speaker make it easier to decide which team is more persuasive? Did the speaker engage with everything that the opposing team have thrown at them? Has all the points given against been addressed? That is the question. Did the speaker expand upon what was presented by the first and second speaker? Once again, we are talking about synchronization. And at the end of the speech, there should be no more question about the team's arguments, intentions, and why they are the better team. All right, meaning to say all three are in the same boat, sailing towards same direction. Next. All right, so as for the role of the third speaker, it means clarification. So this third speaker will be filling in every gap, making sure that in comparison to their opponent, they have an upper hand. So it must be a smooth wrap-up. All right, so the next component that I'll be touching is reply speech, which is given by either the first or second speaker. So over here, we are looking at, all right, once again, teachers, let's look at the verbs. Did the speaker successfully summarize what happened in the entire debate? So you must somehow persuade the adjudicators that you are the best among the two. Did the speaker successfully highlight the important flaw of their opponents? Yes, this is when you project to the adjudicators that the opponent team is failing. Next, did the speaker successfully persuaded you to think that they are the winning team? All right, this is something that the adjudicators really look upon. All right, the adjudicators need to be persuaded that this particular team shall be announced as the winning team. So if somebody manages to do that, then definitely you're on the right track. And at the end of the speech, the judges should be inclined to believe that this particular team is the winner. So if you train your students in such manner that all these questions are perfectly answered, then you will manage to convince the adjudicators and you shall be the winner. Alright, so as for reply speech, it is also known as bias speech, where the speaker will make full use of the 4 minutes to make the most lopsided speech ever, telling everybody that they are the best. Alright, and the last part, this is about point of information, or POI in short. Alright, first, it must be offered to the opposing team. It is a must. Alright, how many? At least 2 to 4. And the opposing team must accept at least 2, but not a lot, because it's a high risk of losing his or her speech. And also, POI must be given in relevant interval. Not given one, and then right after 10 seconds, give the second one? Definitely no. Alright, there must be relevant interval. And finally, the purpose of giving POI is to make either short point or ask a question to the debater for clarification purpose. Alright, so you must tell your speakers that There is a purpose for this POI, and what is the purpose, and when is the suitable time to give a POI. Alright, so here finally, I would like to talk about the do's and the don'ts. When we talk about the do's, we must always tell our speakers, teachers tell them that debate is not a public speaking. We must pay more attention to substance than style. Alright, we must look for gaps in the speech. When the first speaker is actually presenting his or her points, the second speaker and the third speaker must pay extra attention and practice note-taking. Next, provide POI or POIs when there is a need to do so immediately. And finally, be clear and precise. It's not about the voice modulation, how high your voice is or your intonation is when you are arguing, but how clear and precise you are in persuading and making your stance. And the last one will be the don'ts. As for don'ts, do not focus on the style. Once again, this is definitely not public speaking. And next, don't offer excessive points of information every 15 seconds. POI, POI. And it will be full of POI. There will be no argument. There will be no presentation of ideas. And finally, do not be aggressive. All right? So with that, I would like to thank you.